Hello and welcome back to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. My name is Stephanie, the creative girl behind the designs. If you're stopping by my channel for the first time, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notification alerts so that you know when I post my next video. So I am going to be getting my mini planner all finally set up permanently, and that is what we're going to do today. I'm going to go through some tabs and everything else that I'm going to be adding and deleting. And so if you're interested, stay tuned. Okay, so today I am going to finally finish setting up my mini planner. And by that, I mean mostly decorating it. So, you know, it's a weekend, and so I just feel like kind of getting this all finished up and then ready to go. So what I'm going to be doing is going through all the elements that I'm going to be putting in and changing out, and then how I did it and what I'm going to be doing for it. So I'm going to move some of these things out of the way. I'll probably be pulling them back in as I need them. And let's see, I have all these fun things to do. So first up, as you recall, I had in my current planner the old tabs. So when I moved my chunky planner over into this, I had just transferred everything over. I didn't, fancy it up or do anything like that. So I still have all the old tabs, and like I was telling you, I had made this list tab, but it was kind of sticking out. It took a beating, so I think it's just time to change it out. And so what I did was I went through and pre-cut already all the tabs that I need, and here they are. So I'm going to just kind of briefly review what I did. I didn't do this on camera, mostly because I had to punch the sides, which make a lot of noise. As you know, if you are using acetate in your planner, the Happy Planner punches mostly will not go through it. I don't know why that is, but for some reason it just doesn't always grab it. So I wasn't sure if I had to use alternate methods in order to get the disc edge punched. So I just decided to do that off camera, save you all the hassle of the struggle, and hopefully just get these done. And look how shiny these are. So this is, let me step back a second here. I'm going to show you what the sheet basically looked like. I no longer have this sheet, but I'm going to show what it looked like. So this is how it came. I got it from Joann's. It's a sheet of acetate. It's a nice thin sheet of acetate. This one's currently in a piece of plastic. So what I did was, for mine, I had an option. So I had 3 of the old tabs in my inventory. So I'll take it out for you, show you what I did. So my thought was, as you know, on this mini planner, there's these florals. And if you look at this, it's pretty close. Like, it's not an exact match, never will be, but it's pretty close. So what I wanted to do, what I preferred to do, was to have the florals pointing upward, just like these are. But my, need to be efficient and use all the things caused me to not cut it like this. So if I had taken a tab and I had cut it, I would have lost all this paper. I mean, I may have been able to use it somewhere else in another project, but it just seemed like such a waste just to have the flowers going upward. So what I did was I just turned it, and by turning it, I'm going to get the blue one out so you can see it. I was able to create 2 tabs off of 1 sheet of acetate. So that to me was made way more sense. So what I did with the extras, and here they are. So these are all the extra strips. I use everything. So what I keep these for is I use them to put washi samples on. And whether I'm giving them away free or I am, giving a friend some samples, I always use these strips for those washi samples. So these will be put to good use. So that gave me, off of 1 sheet, I got 2 tabs. I'm utilizing my extras. Then it came time to punch the acetate, which again, if you plan and if you've been around Happy Planner for a while, you know the Happy Planner punch doesn't really work with acetate. So I decided to take a wild chance, and what I did was I did use the white punch. So this is the one from Stephanie Fleming, and this one measures for all 3 sheets. You have mini, let me pull this up here. You have mini, classic, and then big. So I love this one because it has all 3 sizes in one punch. I do still have the pink and the blue punch, but I just wanted the white one. It just made more sense to me. I took the chance of punching this in this one. I have 6 tabs. Everything was going pretty good. You know, I got down to the 5th tab and it was still working. So, you know, I was keeping my fingers crossed, hoping that nothing went wrong. And so I just, you know, decided I go to my last one, my very last tab, and something got stuck. So basically in the back here, there's these springs, and 2 of the springs were stuck. So I just kind of kept flipping the lid and eventually just took my nail and popped it up, and it released the acetate. I'm hoping I did not ruin my punch. I'm going to try and sharpen it with some aluminum foil later, but that is what I used to do mine, and I was happy I was able to do it with the Happy Planner punch. Here's why. If you have been, you know, creating or, you know, heard about punching acetate for Happy Planner or even paper, there is an arc punch, which I do not have. I have, but I do not have it in the video. It's a very big and clunky punch. It works for everything Happy Planner. The only difference is in the stem of the, I guess they're called mushroom punch. In the stem, it's a little bit shorter. So if you use an arc punch to do your paper punching for your any planner, whether it's mini, classic, or big for Happy Planner, be sure to punch the paper first, then measure it out. Because if you measure to the paper that's in here and then punch it, it's going to be too short. So I hope that made some sense. I wasn't sure if it was going to come across, but hopefully that you understood what I was saying. So there is the Happy Planner punch. For me, I got lucky, it worked. There is this punch, which is it's We Are Memory Keepers, but as you know, they've changed and it's We Are Makers. And this is a mushroom punch as well. And I found that this works. So what you'll do, you unlock it, and you would make your first punch. So for that, you may want a piece of Happy Planner paper to put there so that you could see where you're measuring your first punch up to. So once you get your first punch, you then put that first punch onto the measure, I call it the measure mushroom. You put it onto this piece here. It's very hard to try and show you. It's flopping around. And then you punch again, and then you can punch, punch, punch. When you get down to your final punch, you may find it's easier to flip your paper, you know, depending on how you started punching. If you punch from the middle, you know, you may need to do that. So there are like 3 options for punching Happy Planner paper. I've used this and it works. But I found that if your paper, because the stem is pretty long, if your paper, whatever you're using, if you don't keep it level, because this will not go all the way down. Let me show you. If I put, oh, actually, let me not show you on that. I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper. And the reason is because the punch doesn't come out the way we would think. Okay, so here's a piece of paper. I make my first punch, measure it, you squeeze it out. I guess I got to sharpen this one too. So this is the punch you get. So now this stem, if you notice, let me show you if I can. So if I measure the mushroom, as we call it, disc, to the top of it, you can see that here there's a bit of an edge. So you have to make sure then when you're punching this, so you put it on your guide, your mushroom guide, but if your paper's not level, it's going to come out your punches are going to come out crooked. So just as a sidebar, I just wanted to mention that about this one tool here. So each one gives you a different length stem on the mushroom. So make sure that whatever you're using, that you use the same one through all the ones you're punching. And then you also measure, first punch and then measure out and cut, because you don't want your paper too short or your acetate. So I'm going to put these aside. Okay, so now we're going to get into the fun stuff. So I have my tabs. I have some pockets, which I'll show you where I had put those previously. I've got my Socialite Mini planner pack or planner accessory pack, because it has the folder in there that I think I've decided I want to put in there. And then I've got my tabs with labels, and then I've got all the labels that I'll be putting on my tabs. I think I got them all. Okay, so let's just dive right in. So I have, of course, the Today tab, which I'm not changing. But I did start my planning, or my acetate off of this first one. So I made the next one the middle one. So hopefully that makes a bit of sense. So what I'm going to do is right in front of all my mom stuff, I'm going to go ahead and pop this in. Now here's the beauty of making your own tabs, is that if you use acetate, it's super thin. So it gives you, it really debulks your planner, especially for your mini when you're trying to chunkify it. So it will really give you a nice thin, pliable, but it'll still be a tab you can see. So that's why I tend to move to acetate tabs. I do like the Happy Planner ones, but they do kind of, some of them are thick and they just kind of bulk it up. So I'm going to take this one out. And so I'll make a little noise as I go along, obviously. And then, you know, the other nice thing is that it's see-through. So I can kind of see through to the back, see what's, you know, upcoming. So for my tabs, I could probably stand to trim a little bit more off, and I may do that still. One note about the tabs is that, you know, if you have Happy Planners, they're rounded at the corners. I have a rounder, but it doesn't work once you've, you know, made cuts. You can't quite get it in the V shape of the paper rounder. So all I do is I just simply take my scissors and do a round on it. Super easy, no problem whatsoever. So let's go to the next one. I'm going to get my tabs in there. Now this one was my problem one. I loved it, but it just kind of got beat up, which is a shame. So this one's going to go here, right? Yep. And I like the fact that it matches my discs, it matches the cover. I do like to have matchy-matchy, not total matchy-matchy, but complementary things. So then I've got my next section, I believe was, let's see, we had lists. I got to keep track of what is what. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so budget. So I'm gonna, and I love this one too because it has this cute little foiled quote, plans are dreams in the making. But, and I'll hold on to it, but for this setup, I just kind of want it more uniform. So some of them I did a bit of a mess up on, but I'm not gonna worry about it. And then I'm gonna run through what the changes I did as well. And then this one will be fitness. And then the last one is going to be here, which is my extras. So now I'm going to go back to, and see how lovely this looks now? Hopefully I'm getting that angle for you. So I've got all of this rose gold, kind of coppery rose gold going on. I've got the tab that goes with the planner look, and I've got all 6 tabs in here. And I still have my side tabs I can work with. So I love how that looks. All right, so let me go to, and I don't have them labeled just yet, but let me go to this. We also have in the area, I was just gonna mention quickly, we have the Blue Angels in the sky today, and I'm gonna try and do this before they come swooping by our house because we happen to be near the vicinity in which they're doing their show. So I'm gonna try and get through this quickly. So this is my Socialite mini pack. which you recognize some of the paper. And I am going to put the folder in here because for business, I do want uniformity. So my personal stuff is all Supermom, my business is all Socialite, and I do need at times something to tuck in. I need like a folder to tuck things in. So that was Socialite. Now let me get our tabs labeled because then I know what I'm doing. So with my tabs, I had the option of doing a white tab or just clear. I stuck with clear only because I will get to know them very quickly, what's where. And let's see, budget fitness extra. And I didn't want to have the white. I didn't want it so glaring. I love this look from this view. So I like that. I'm just going to leave it like it is. So I'm going to cut each one down a bit. And all I used was my Dymo label maker for this. And I could leave them, I'm off on the side here, just trimming this down. I could leave them slightly larger, but I just prefer to cut them down as close to the words as possible because for me that's easier to, oh, I forgot my little pictures. See, I still got more. Always have something to do. Okay, so I just cut them right down as small as I can so I can just get them where I want them. So all I'm going to do is just kind of eyeball where I want it. Now, one thing to note is this is patterned acetate, so my tab does have acetate behind it. If I ever peel this off to change it, some of this foiling will come off. I have had that happen. I'm not overly worried about it. Again, I tend to do the setups based on what I need at that time, and you know, my tabs may change. We have a plane going over. Doesn't sound like the Blue Angels just yet. So let's see, I've got now my business. Just making sure I'm putting the right tab on, or the right label on the right tab. So we have this. Oh, trying to find an angle here. And my little tweezers are falling out of my hands. And I don't overly worry about, you know, getting it right in the middle or, you know, it's just a quick reference for me to know what I'm pulling out. What section am I going to? This would be lists. Now this one is a little smaller, so I'm just going to leave a tad bit more on the edges just so that it's easier to work with. Again, these are see-through, so they're clear, transparent labels. So it's not going to be too much of an issue. But again, I like to be able to see it and work with it. So I just made this, since it's only a short word, I just made it a little larger. And that looks about straight. You know, again, it's just so that I can get in, find what I need, and get to that section quickly. So we have budget. I have been pondering how I wanted to do this for the longest time. So I'm really happy with the end result. And I'm glad I'm getting this set up with you today because now I can just dive right in. I have something I can already put in here under one of the tabs because there was, we did attend a friend's wedding. And so there's, you know, information from that that I want to record. Okay, so we have fitness, which by the way, as you know, after a wedding, you know, with all the desserts and the food, and I definitely need to get into my fitness a bit more. Kind of work off all that I ate. Good times, but you know if you've gone to a wedding that it's sometimes is a bit overindulgent. You overindulge a bit and then you feel bad the next day. So, long story short, but that is something that I'll be getting back into. Okay. One more, and then I'm going to kind of just do a little review of a few things. And then I've got these tabs I need to change as well. So same thing with the extra tab. It's a bit small, so I'm just leaving a little extra on it so that I can work with it a little easier. I'm just cutting them off to the side here and getting them peeled off the backing paper. So I'm really happy about getting this finished because I can just move on. I've got lots I'm doing and lots I'm trying to get done. So let me get this garbage out of the way. All right, so now we have, and this is where I'm gonna start doing a little bit of a change up. So as you know, I did forget this. I still have my name to do. I got to get my pictures, which I forgot. My calendar is all set, and then we go into the personal. Now for this section, I am going to leave it as Supermom, and I'm going to leave those tabs because for me, the tabs kind of designate visually what it is, even if I'm not looking at the top. So that is going to remain the same. With the business, I'm going to leave it as Socialite. Again, I recognize the tabs. I'm going to leave the tabs as they are. And lists is where I'm going to kind of change things up a bit. And then what I did with the folder in my business was I put it before the project so that it was kind of almost like another tab or a marker as to what was there. So with lists, I am going to take this out. Even though I do think I'm going to replace this with something, I'm just pondering what I want to replace it with, and then I'll decide. Now, if you recall from my lists, the last tab had one of these pockets. So this is a clear pocket. Let's see if I can get this corner in here so you can see. It's just a clear slip-in pocket. And these pockets came as, it's a sticky pocket, and they came in a packet from Target, which you can probably find these now in the school section. It was whenever they came out with the school stuff is when they had this. And so you could probably get a packet now if you're interested, but these are super nice because they fit perfectly in the mini and they're great for just tucking things in. I do think I'm going to add a pocket. I just don't know that I want to add it to the tab. So I'm not going to put one of these in today. I just wanted to show you what they were, where I got them, and how I use them. They really are perfect for just about anything. The other thing I've also done in the past is I've actually stuck them to the inside of the mini planner page. And that works beautiful too, because if you're out and about and you don't want to fish through this, you can just open your book and slip it in. So they're very helpful to have. So if you're interested, check them out now. You probably will be able to find them. So with this section, I'm going to change it up a bit. So I had 3 tabs, and I was a little bit lucky because my daughter wasn't going to use her mini anymore, and she gave me these. She made this from a cover she found. She cut them down, and so I was able to pick up, I think, 2 of them. Yeah, I think there's about 2. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using this as my sort of like a tab for my section. So this one here is going to go here, and here's why. Because when this is closed, so like my wish list, you won't be able to read it too much, but it kind of gives it a little bit of a frosty color behind it. So this is going to go here, and it's going to get one of these rose gold tabs, which this is nice because it's plastic. It'll easily come off, and I don't have to worry about it, ruining the paper or anything like that. So I'm just measuring this to get it on. And then this is going to become wish lists. So I'm going to use my little label that I also printed out. And I'm going to still have 3 sections, so there'll be one section that won't have one of these little frosted tabs on it. But that's okay. I was mainly only using them for 2 of the sections. So this is going to be now, the first one's now going to be wish lists. All right. And again, that just provides a little bit of privacy if I open up to this section. So my next one is, I'm going to change this up. So I've made these 2, let me see. So this one's going to become something else. let me just set this little tab aside. So this one I'm going to hold on to because these are reusable. This did come from Happy Planner. So again, I'm going to also set that one aside. This tab is going to become the Write It Out, and I'm going to use the same paper. I'm trying to see because sometimes the paper gets a stickiness on it, like the little sticky comes off. So I think what I want to do, because these are a little shorter, I'm just going to kind of space them out. So I'm going to put this one about here. And it got stuck, but this is good. Right here will be good. Oh, that's not level. I do need to have them straight on the paper though. Okay. I don't know, I got stickies on this one too. Okay, so this one's going to be Write It Down. So this is a bit longer. I hope it'll fit. Yeah, it'll fit. And literally under lists, the Write It Down is kind of like a brain dump for me. It's like, write whatever you're going to write. Kind of, you know, again, just a brain dump, someplace to just put it all down. So this one here will be Write It Down. Oops. And that was a bit squeaky. And then what I'm going to do is, this is going to move. If you're interested in any of these items, I will be putting them in the box, the description box below, so that all these things will be linked for you if you're interested in picking up anything. And again, there'll be the things that I'm able to link. I'll put a link for you down there. So this one, I think I'm just going to move and put it here. Let me make sure I got it level. I'm going to pull this one out too. Yeah, these little poly sheets really make it easy to put on, you know, these 3M Post-it notes. Or they're not Post-it notes. It's like a Post-it note. It's removable. I think they're called tabs, removable tabs. So this is the last one. And I'm just going to label this as events. So this is going to kind of be all-encompassing. So it will be family. It's going to be, you know, anything else that might come up. So for example, what I was talking about the other day was let's see, do I want to have that behind it? I think I do. I'm going to kind of shift some things around. I am going to put this one here. I had, you know, of course, a wedding to go to, and so that's going to go up under the events, and that's going to be recording notes and so forth. I'm going to put this one here. I think I might put that paper behind all of them. I think that would be nice. Let me grab some, even though I haven't put my other tab in yet. I'm going to get 2 more pages. Although I think for the one, I'll have to remove the tab. So if I put this here, which is, again, the paper for this planner, that looks really nice. I like that. So this one's going to get changed, but for now, I'm just going to pop it in here, and then I'll move the tab over. I want to see if I can find another one of these, like, they're very thin, they're pliable. I mean, they're perfect. Okay, so this is now my sections that I've updated my tabs on. And let's see. I've got, okay, so budget. I'm keeping this in there. I do have my bill pay schedule, which I check off. I pulled out some of these expense trackers from one of the older mini packs. I don't know if I'm going to use this exactly, but for now I've got it in there. And then I think I mentioned, I did put this in here, a habit tracker. And I think I mentioned this in the video of the setup, which were these sheets that I had They were printable. I purchased them on Etsy somewhere. And it's for a week. So it's a week at a glance, Monday through Sunday. Has breakfast, lunch, dinner. It has a water tracker, steps, exercise, a quote. So it's really kind of nice for all of those fitness and health tracking. So I've got that. And then this is just extra, which I may put one of those pretty blue papers behind here as well so that I always see it. And then there's the folder. You know, the extra is just all my extra papers, and then the folder. So I think, look at this. Gorgeous, right? Look at that. It's so pretty. Okay. What's the Disney movie? It's so fluffy, I'm gonna die. This is kind of what I feel about my chunky planner. So here is my mini homesteader planner all set up and ready to go. I have just a few things to add, and they're not going to take long, but I'm ready to rock and roll with this, and I'm super happy to be taking it out. Fall is coming, and I'm loving it. So I hope I have inspired you to do something creative today and every day, and to create your beautiful plan or beautiful life one plan at a time. Thank you for watching.